What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today, it is time that we discuss this arguably stunning development happening out of the great state of Georgia. Now, as many of you probably heard, back in April, there was a Democrat that flipped to the Republicans in the state's assembly, I believe. And while this was stunning, this wasn't an overtly Democrat seat. It was like Biden plus 12, I think it was. It was Biden leaning, certainly, but it wasn't this, D plus 50 district. Well, that changes. Yet another Democrat has flipped to the Republican Party, this time in the state of Georgia. And you remember how I said that other Democrat was like a Biden plus 12 seat or whatever it was? Wasn't the most Democrat in the world compared to other districts. This Democrat is from Atlanta, and not like the slightly less Democrat part. This is a fairly Democrat part of Atlanta, a seat that I think Biden won by 40 odd points, or could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, but it's certainly a Democrat stronghold. Well, a Democrat just flipped to the GOP. Now, before we continue today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, think about this, for $1 a month, you can click the join button down below and support the daily content we all know and love, and also keep the channel independent. So click the join button down below just for $1 a month. I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright everybody, so let us discuss this. I know this isn't the biggest news in the world, but it does indicate there is one issue that I think Republicans have kind of just dropped the ball on the last 2 years or so, and we'll get to it. But let's talk about this Democrat who has just flipped to the GOP. Mesha Mainor, I believe I'm saying the first name correctly. She, beforehand, was a fairly conservative Democrat. This is a scorecard by CPAC, and I know people kind of make fun of it because it's not necessarily perfect. However, it does give you a good idea of how conservative somebody is. Higher the score, more conservative. Well, her lifetime rating, which she's just served for a couple of years, is 47.2. So she's almost dead in the center. While 2022 was a 39. It's a little bit down, but for a Democrat in a Biden plus, I think it's like a Biden plus 40 seat, could be a little bit more, a little bit less, I don't freaking know. That's already stunning enough. But to actually flip and join the GOP, that's even more stunning. But why? There's more to the story, and I don't think it's similar to what happened in North Carolina. Sure, they claimed that was about education, but go read some of the lawsuits that were pending against the Speaker of the House. There are some backroom deals with what happened there, but here, it's a little bit different. A Democratic state representative from Atlanta who has repeatedly voted against her party, including by supporting a failed school voucher bill, is now a Republican. State Representative Mesha Mainor announced on Tuesday she will join the GOP, making her the first ever black woman to serve as a Republican in the Georgia General Assembly. Again, I don't really care if it's, who's who, but it's still a pretty significant development. This is how it happened. It didn't happen from, a R plus 50 seat. It came from a Democrat in the deep blue area flipping. Mainor, who was first elected in 2020, represents the deep blue 56 state house district that stretches from Westview up into Midtown. The switch means these largely Democratic voters will be represented by a Republican for the duration of Mainor's term, which expires in 2024. This is just kind of funny. I'm chuckling a little bit because Blexit's real, for once. It's technically real here, because this district is, I think, majority African American. I Could be wrong about that, but this is the closest to Brexit being real ever. You will ever see it. So, Maynard said Tuesday during a press conference at the Capitol that she was a lifelong member of the Democratic Party because it was known as the party that fights for the underserved and those that have been forgotten. And that is key. Say what you will about the Democrats for 30-odd years. A lot, I would say before 2016. Before 2016 and actually closer to 2012, the Democrat Party, they weren't perfect. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bad parts, but there's a lot of Democrats that they truly cared about America. They truly cared about conserving the traditions of this country, putting the American worker first. They did. They truly cared about it. What's happened in that the past 10 years? It's become a more neoliberal establishment party. I wish I could stand here and say the Democrats of the Capitol are all those things, but that's just not true, she said, adding that members of the party have quote-unquote publicly slandered her. House District, so this is just a Democrats' response, and it's funny. House District 56 deserves a representative who will do the job they were elected to do, including fighting for high-quality public education. And this is what this is about. Edumacation. Education. I love saying edumacation. It's funnier, but education. This is why she flipped. Last year, she supported a special needs voucher and a ban on localities from lowering police budgets, and this year voted for a new prosecutorial oversight commission pushed by Republicans. Criticism from her fellow Democrats reached a fever pitch, earlier this year when she supported a bill that would have provided parents a $6,500 voucher per child to use towards certain private schools' tuition, tutoring fees, therapy, and transportation. Afterwards, a Democratic state senator offered $1,000 to anyone willing to challenge Maynard in the primary. First of all, that seems like a conflict of interest. Say, oh, we'll pay you off if you run. But second of all, this is why they're trying to get rid of her. They were going to try to get rid of her in the first place. Education. She supported school choice. She supported special needs vouchers for those they have special needs. They need certain extra help. This is what this is about. Because unlike the Democrats, unlike the Democrats with certain issues, there's one that I don't care who you talk about whoever, one issue that the vast majority of Americans agree upon, and Republicans are the biggest pushers of it: school choice. Such a massive issue to voters. And guess what? That's why they're going after her. In spite the majority of her own party probably supporting school choice. Not a big majority, but I can assume at least a plurality. In spite of that, they get mad at her for merely supporting the idea the parent gets to decide what school he goes to, what his child goes to. What am I supposed to say? This is a Democrat weak point. Education. And let me be 100% clear with myself. I'm not saying she's a conservative, electoral juggernaut. I'm not saying that at all. But ever since she suddenly flipped, yeah, she sounded like a partisan Republican now, but let's be real. This is happening because Democrats, they don't want your kids going to a school you want to go send them to. That is what's happening. And Republicans have an opportunity to capitalize on this. Don't run on, oh, she flipped because, the Democrats are the real racist. No. Focus on why she flipped. She flipped because Democrats are against school choice. They're against the idea of Jimmy. Jimmy is going to a crap school in Baltimore. This is an example. Without school choice, under Democrat control, his parents can't send him to a better school. But under Republican states, Republican control, your kid's allowed to go any school they want to, plus school vouchers. Democrats are against that, and that's why she flipped here. Republicans have a gold mine. There are many voters, white, Hispanic, African American, Asian, all over the place. It doesn't matter. There are so many voters that want to send their kid to a good place for education, but they either can't afford it or legally they can't. They're stuck in some certain zip code where it's not allowed to. This is an issue. I don't care who the Republican nominee is in 2024. If there's one semi-cultural issue the GOP needs a run on, it's education. Focus on school choice and show Democrats how they've responded to one Democrat, this Democrat here, for merely saying parents should have a right to choose where their kid goes to school. Run this everywhere. Not because, she fled the real racist. That's not going to flip anybody. Tell people why she flipped. Tell them they went after her for being pro-police. They went after her for wanting to being pro-parent, being pro-child, pro-school choice. That's why. Run this, and you're going to suddenly see a lot of these voters realize, hey, wait a minute here. You're going after a Democrat for merely supporting school choice? But don't you want better education? But you're not allowing us to send our kid to a better school? This is free marketing. Republicans have an opportunity to capitalize on it. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.